Dead by Daylight is a game built on the premise of fearing the killer, creating a claustrophobic environment and some terrifying moments. Many DBD fans grew up watching horror movies, with those characters being some of the most recognizable beings in pop culture history. So adding some of these iconic characters as licensed killers was a no-brainer, but which licensed characters seamlessly transitioned from their own lore over to the entity's world? This exploration delves beyond the surface, unraveling the sinister lore intricately woven into the very fabric of each licensed killer. The dread-soaked builds, meticulously crafted, not only pay homage to their cinematic counterparts, but immerse players in a nightmarish dance between life and death. So here are the top 10 most true to lore licensed killers in Dead by Daylight. Number 10, Michael Myers, The Shape. The Shape, the silent and relentless Michael Myers from Halloween, steps into DBD as a harbinger of pure evil. His in-game build and perks mirror the eerie pursuit depicted in the films, capturing the essence of Myers' insidious stealth and selective targeting, with the movies painting it so Michael only really kills in order to get to his main target, which is Laurie. And DBD quite frankly did a great job of capturing this in his perk build. For example, Play With Your Feud is solely based on allowing survivors to escape his grasp while he stalks them, becoming even more powerful as the game goes on, which allows him to put his full focus on his selected target. Pair this with Save the Best for Last, which gives you stackable tokens that decrease your melee cooldown as the game goes on, and this only stops once the obsession is dead, and you truly have a build around his sole purpose of killing his obsession, which is true to the core of the movie lore. Even Dying Light tries to keep the obsession in the game as long as possible, as tokens are rewarded that affect people other than the obsession, allowing you to quickly dispatch them to get to your main goal. Number 9, Bubba Sawyer, Leatherface, the Cannibal. Leatherface, the brutal enforcer from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, resonates with a savage loyalty. DBD's build channels this raw power, etching the Sawyer clan's gruesome practices onto the very fabric of the game. Barbecue and chili ties into the close but chaotic bond that Leatherface has with his family, with him often being guided and directed to do the dirty work by family members. And in a way, it's almost like the entity is taking that role, as the entity shows Bubba where the survivors are with this perk, and it's up to him to get there and do what is required. Franklin's demise is a direct nod to Leatherface's unwavering allegiance. This perk disarms survivors once hit, showcasing his loyalty to those who he serves. Knockout is another reference to the movies, even with the perk listing having a direct quote from Nubbin Sawyer, talking about how a gun is no good and he prefers the old-fashioned melee way. This perk rewards you for using your melee attacks to down a survivor, and kind of portrays a silent but deadly approach, as the side effect is you cannot be seen by other survivors within 32 meters away, a reward for not using your much noisier chainsaw. Number 8, Freddy Krueger, The Nightmare. Freddy Krueger, the dream demon from A Nightmare on Elm Street, transcends into DBD, unfurling a nightmarish realm. This build masterfully manipulates reality, ensuring survivors confront a terrifying dreamscape. Fire Up is a perfect example of Freddy's behavior in the movies, as when there's a chance he may lose his prey, all hell breaks loose, which is exactly what this perk portrays. When a Jenny is completed, a token is gained, growing Freddy in power and speeding up actions such as picking up survivors, breaking pallets, and vaulting windows. Blood Warden and Remember Me are both extremely possessive and vengeful. These perks twist the rules to ensnare survivors, emphasizing Freddy's relentless pursuit within the dream realm, and are mainly focused on the endgame component of the match, meaning your chances of escaping Freddy's realm are much, much harder. Number 7, Amanda Young, The Pig. Jigsaw's enigmatic disciple from Saw materializes within DBD, unleashing her death trap gimmick. This meticulously crafted build seamlessly integrates the game into a rigged ordeal, mirroring Amanda's twisted sense of redemption. Her head trap ability is probably one of the biggest nods to the movie franchise possible, as this was a trap that Amanda escaped from herself. Not only is it a testament to Amanda's mechanical aptitude, this perk forces survivors through a labyrinth of tests, meticulously scrutinizing their every move, akin to Jigsaw's elaborate games. But the twist, just like in the movies, Amanda has it so even if you do complete the task, there's only a small chance the trap could be removed, unlike that of Jigsaw, who always provides a way out, even if it is extremely twisted. And this is where she directly differs from her leader Jigsaw, and in my eyes is actually a much better fit for the world of DBD. One of her perks, Make Your Choice, inflicts a sense of urgency as survivors navigate between heroism and selfishness, embodying Amanda's warped perception of moral choices within her tests. If a survivor rescues another off the hook, this perk will activate and cause the survivor who took the person off the hook to scream, revealing their location and getting the exposed status effect, a punishment for daring to defy Amanda's wishes. Just like in the Saw movies, covert surveillance is key, which is where Amanda's surveillance perk comes into play, showing the auras of regression generators and allowing her to track the movements of survivors as a result. result. This is only further enhanced by the Scourgehook Hangman's Trick, as this perk shows a location of survivors within a 10-meter range when you're carrying an injured survivor, while also notifying you at the same time if they try to sabotage your Scourgehook, giving Amanda a further sense of control and even more ability to keep an eye on the pesky survivors, all of which are extremely relevant to her lore. Number 6, the Demogorgon. Emerging from the eerie parallel dimension of the Upside Down in Stranger Things, the Demogorgon truly manifests its ferocity within DBD. This build encapsulates its feral nature, distorted effects on technology, and insatiable bloodlust. The Surge perk is a direct reference to the otherworldly influence, disrupting electronics, in this instance generators, mirroring its strange effects on the environment in Stranger Things. Cruel Limits is a manifestation of the Demogorgon's relentless pursuit, in that once a Jenny is completed, the perk activates and blocks any vault locations across the entire map for 35 seconds, pretty much forcing you to have to engage in a chase with the demo, and really amplifies that claustrophobic feeling you see of the Demogorgon in Stranger Things. I think the devs did a really good job pairing this up with a Mindbreaker perk too, a perk that even just your presence is enough to cause survivors dread, as when they start repairing any generator, they are inflicted with the blindness and exhausted status effects, meaning not only can they not see your aura, but any perks they may have to help them escape chase are completely invalid for 5 seconds after repairing the gen. The combination of the perks really help paint a picture of a terrifying creature that no matter how much you want to avoid, you simply can't. Number 5, Pyramid Head, the Executioner. Pyramid Head, the manifestation of punishment from Silent Hill 2, stalks the fog-laden realm of DBD. This build encapsulates his grim trade for the entity and his nightmarish stealth. Guided by the entity, Pyramid Head homes in on those destined for punishment, emphasizing his role as a relentless tormentor. Trail of Torment is a testament to Pyramid Head's ability to seemingly vanish, as this perk cloaks him in an unnatural stealth, mirroring his sudden appearances in Silent Hill. Pyramid Head gains the undetectable status until the damage generator is repaired, meaning he unknowingly controls your movements while seemingly appearing out of nowhere. Pyramid Head is intent on causing pain and suffering, as he is a form of punishment in the Silent Hill games, so anyone that interferes with that is severely punished by his 2 other perks. Forced Penance punishes survivors who take a protection hit to save their teammate by inflicting the broken status effect for up to 80 seconds, and Deathbound punishes survivors for healing each other, causing them to scream to reveal their location and inflicting the oblivious status effect. All in all, a great way of building that feeling of punishment for things that are relatively normal in Dead by Daylight, staying true to Pyramid Head's lore. Number 4, Nemesis T-Type, the Nemesis. The relentless Nemesis from Resident Evil 3, originally designed by the Umbrella Corporation, descends into DBD. This build captures his single-minded pursuit and his hulking figure. This is done through Lethal Pursuer. Nemesis's unwavering pursuit echoes through this perk, allowing him to track survivors relentlessly, mirroring his pursuit in Resident Evil. At the start of the trial, this perk shows the auras of all survivors for 9 seconds, truly embodying the no-nonsense approach of Nemi, allowing him to get straight to business and track down the survivors. His Hysteria perk does exactly what it says on the tin, causes mass hysteria when you injure a survivor, placing all other survivors into the oblivious status effect for 30 seconds, meaning that even though he's not directly chasing you at this moment, you know your time will come. Eruption is kind of a further play on how Nemesis is a scientific project, giving him the ability to set traps on Jennies and causing them to explode and regress once a survivor is downed. I really like the idea of this perk, because it kind of feeds into his lore in the sense of the Jennies are useless to him, he just wants you. So this allows him to control the Jennies passively while putting his sole focus on his subjects. Number 3, Pinhead, the Cenobite. The Cenobite, a demon or angel from Hellraiser, leads extra-dimensional beings in pursuit of those who solve the Lament configuration. This build unveils Pinhead's sadistic mastery over pain and pleasure. Scourgehook, Gift of Pain, is a perfect perk for Pinhead, as it bestows his torment in a relentless manner, making the pain inflicted by hooks inescapable, even after a survivor is unhooked, causing them to suffer from the hemorrhage and mangled status effects until they are healed. But this perk is the gift that keeps on giving, as even after being healed, the survivor suffers a speed penalty to healing and repairing until they are once again injured. His other perk, Hex Plaything, further enhances the victim's suffering, which is exactly what Pinhead wants. Even after being hooked, Pinhead still wants more, as this perk inflicts the cursed and oblivious status effects, a lingering reminder of the suffering Pinhead wants to inflict upon you, and for the first 90 seconds, only you can cleanse the Hex Totem to remove these effects, further enhancing your suffering. Deadlock ties into Pinhead's essence of crushing any hope of escape, as once a generator is completed, the entity blocks the gem with the most progression for 30 seconds. This really helps build upon his character, as the slight joy you get of completing a generator is completely crushed, even if it is just for 30 seconds. A cool bonus fact too is Pinhead's Mori is the only one that doesn't actually really kill you, rather it just takes you to his world, so even after suffering through the whole game, you know you're going to suffer even more, a testament to just how evil Pinhead is. Number 2, Sodoko Yamamura, the Onryo. Sodoko Sodoko, a powerful psychic with a grudge from the Ring series, haunts DBD with her control over electronics. This build mirrors her spectral vengeance and manipulation of the cursed VHS tape. Now, we have to give credit to DBD here, as it was going to be extremely hard integrating a character whose whole premise is based around watching a videotape and dying 7 days later, but somehow they adapted and made it work, which is really impressive. Call of Brine is a perfect example of Sodoko's undead presence, as it wreaks havoc on generators, degrading them with explosive unpredictability, mirroring her powers over electronics. The generators regress at a quick speed, and anytime a survivor hits a good skill check on the affected Jenny, a loud noise notification shows you their location. The terrifying thing about Sodoko is there is nowhere to hide, and seeing her crawl through a TV brings a whole new level of fear. So she needed perks that allow her to teleport through the TVs with a purpose, knowing where the survivors are, which is exactly what Floods of Rage does. Scourge Hook Floods of Rage shows you the aura of all survivors after a survivor is unhooked from a Scourge Hook, allowing her to teleport across the map via the TVs, knowing where the survivors are located, adding a sense of dread as you know you can't avoid her, she will find you. The Merciless Storm perk is another perfect addition to her lore, as when you are nearing the end of a Jenny, you hit with continuous skill checks until you complete it. Miss one and the Jenny becomes blocked, and this just adds to the feeling of no matter how close you are to escape, she always has control and you feel that your time is truly limited. Another nice nod to her lore from the devs is the implementation of the number 7, as obviously it wasn't realistic to have the trial run over 7 days or even a 7-minute period, so the devs tried to add the number 7 into as many aspects of her character as possible. For example, revealing Survivor's aura for 7 seconds, a really nice way of managing to add in such a significant part of her story. Number 1, Albert Wesker, the Mastermind. When making this list, there was only ever going to be one name at the top, Albert Wesker. DBD obviously have a really good relationship with the Resident Evil folk, as this is the second killer they've managed to implement from the series, and in my opinion, the most accurate. Albert Wesker, the scheming mastermind from Resident Evil, orchestrates chaos within DBD. His build shows his tactical prowess, god complex, and the relentless pursuit of his targets. In his eyes, Wesker is the ultimate being, so he should be able to do things that other killers can't, right? Superior anatomy allows Wesker to move much quicker than other killers when in chase and vaulting a window, as once a survivor performs a rushed vault action, Wesker matches it with a 40% speed boost the next time he vaults a window, a subtle hint that anything you can do, he can definitely do better. Awakened awareness allows him to leverage his superior genetics, as Wesker gains awareness and plots his moves, ensuring composure while also shattering it for his adversaries by showing the aura of all survivors within 20 meters of his location, but this is only activated when carrying an injured survivor. And this perk is where Wesker's brilliance truly differentiates him from the Hulk in Nemesis, as Terminus allows Wesker to plan for any outcome. Once the exit gates are powered, Wesker gets the upper hand, as any survivor who is injured, in the dying state, or hooked will suffer from the broken status effect until the exit gates are opened. This feeds into his nickname of the Mastermind, as Wesker is always one step ahead, and while you may think that powering the exit gates is the endgame, this is where Wesker truly begins to dominate. DBD completely nailed his aesthetic too, even down to the small details of his Mori, in which his glasses are knocked off, and even mid-kill he cares about his image that much, he puts on a new pair of shades. Do you agree with this list? Do you think any other killers should be ranked higher? Let me know down in the comments below. With the recent addition of the Xenomorph from Alien and the upcoming Chucky chapter, there's a lot to look forward to for DBD fans. I guess the next question is, which licensed killer would you next want to see in Dead by Daylight? In the meantime, while I've got your attention, you should go check out this video.